Okay. I'm sticking with my filter because I like it. I do not have time for this today. I'm like, I don't know. I just got on one on my stories. I just kind of got on one and I was on a roll and I was like, okay, I have way more to say about this because I actually just did a training on this about a week and a half ago on the power of negative thoughts. Good morning, everybody. Like I have a to-do list a mile long. I should not be going live right now, but the power of our negative thoughts. I have to talk about this because I was just on my stories talking about focusing on the good and gratitude and all of these things, right, that are so important. But I don't think we realize how powerful our negative thoughts are. We talk about positivity, think positively, focus on the good, right? All the things I was just saying in my stories. It's so important. Positive thoughts, we talk about that all the time, but just like with sourdough, I want to talk to you guys about why. Why is it so important to be positive, especially right now? Why? What's the why behind it? Why is it so good for me, right? Like that's why you stick with sourdough, is because I teach you why it's so good for your body and the health benefits you're going to get from it. So the same thing with our thoughts. I want to teach you and give you some concrete examples of why it's so important to be positive, especially right now. The world freaking needs it, okay? I might be a little intense this morning. I can feel it. I can feel it going. But here's why, is because a positive thought is great, but a negative thought is 4 to 7 times more powerful than a positive thought. Negative thoughts are 4 to 7 times more powerful. Now this is still in your mind, right? So you're just thinking it. It's like, man, that really sucks, or oh my gosh, the world is ending, or whatever it is. Those negative thoughts, when they're in our mind, they're 4 to 7 times more powerful than the positive counterpart. That's big, but I'm about to blow your mind, okay? Get ready with the blow your mind emoji. Here, it's coming. It's been proven that when you speak any thought, when you take it from your mind and speak it out loud, when it leaves your lips, you just amplified its power by 10. Positive or negative, anything that you speak into existence, like you speak out of your mouth that is heard by somebody else, or you put it on the internet, or you write it in your little thing, whatever comes out of your mouth just gained power times 10. So now what have we just done? We've taken a negative thought, and as soon as we speak it to our friend or type it online or complain to whoever, it just became 40 to 70 times more powerful than it was just grumbling in our head. Right? There's the emoji. Thank you, Monica. 40 to 70 times. And science has shown us the power of our mind and what we speak. It comes into existence. So what have you seen in your own life? What are you focusing on? And what is coming back to you? Just take a minute to think. What are the people around me talking about? What am I talking about? What am I allowing to come in? And then what am I speaking out? What am I speaking out loud? And what is that bringing back to me? Who am I around? I'm like, what are they talking about? Once it leaves your lips, you just amplified it by 40 to 70 times, you guys. We have to be more careful about what we are talking about, what we are complaining about. Like I said in my stories, I know things are hard. I get it, okay? I have hard things too. I do. But you don't hear me on here talking about it, putting it out there, complaining. I have methods for coping and dealing with things like that as they come, okay? Here's some examples for you. That I hope will drive this home. The first little stat I want to give you is that 83% of illnesses are either started, enhanced, or perpetuated through negative thinking, through our thoughts. And it's interesting, actually, my dad was just telling me the other day that my mom went through this whole thing, heart attack. They actually don't really know still what happened, but her doctor recommended that she read this book that talked about basically how most disease is caused by stress, that internal stress that we hold on to or that we talk about with other people and complain about. That stress in our body turns into disease. 83% of diseases and illnesses. That's a big deal. We are a sick, society, right? I think we would all agree, especially this year. Things are happening that are caused by stress. Not all, but 83% is a pretty big amount, right, of what's happening in our body. And it was written by a doctor, a medical doctor, just talking about the connection between stress in the body turning into illness. Okay, couple stories for you. Then I'll let you go and get on my to-do list. But maybe you've heard these before. The first one is simple, but there was a guy who got trapped in a refrigerator car. I'm smiling, it's not funny. But he got trapped in a refrigerator car, like those train cars that are refrigerated. They get real cold. He got trapped inside. Couldn't get out, right? So he started writing all the things that were going on in his head while he's trapped. I'm stuck in here. Nobody's gonna find me. I can't get out. It's getting colder. I'm feeling kind of sleepy. Is this what hypothermia feels like? I'm gonna die in here. He started writing out all of those thoughts that were going through his mind. So a while later, he was found in the car and he had passed away. But do you know what else they found in the car? They found that the refrigerator mechanism was broken. It was not working. The car was not cold. It was 56 degrees. There was no physical reason for this man's death. And they determined that he had talked himself to death. Talked himself to death by convincing himself that I am going to die in here and it's cold because it's a refrigerator car and that's all I know and I am trapped. And writing that stuff out, he talked himself to death. That is the power of our brain. Okay, here's another one. I love this one. Okay, it's a little bit longer. But in the 80s, the SAT scored out of 2 parts, math and a written portion. Each part was out of 800, total of 1,600. Okay, so there's this kid. He's dropping out of high school. That's a true story, guys. These are true stories. Dropping out of high school, basically, not going to class, substance abuse, skipping out, all the things. Okay, and he decided that he had promised his mom he would take the SAT. So he's like, fine, I'll take the SAT. So he takes the SAT. A few weeks later, gets his score back in the mail. And he got a 1460 out of 1,600. A 1460, you guys. A 1460 out of 1,600. And his mom was like, did you guys cheat? Did you cheat? What happened? And he said, no, I tried. I tried to cheat, but the way the desks were, the way it was set up, the scanner, whatever, I couldn't cheat. And so then he looked at that and went, wow, okay, I'm heading into my senior year. What does a person who gets a 1460 on the SAT do? They go to class. So he started showing up for class. His teachers started to take notice that he was showing up and invested in him. And he started, improving. He graduated high school, went to a 4-year community college, got a degree, went to an Ivy League school, got his MBA, and became a very successful magazine entrepreneur. 12 years later, he gets a letter in the mail from the state of Pennsylvania saying, we've been reviewing our policies, our procedures, the way, we do these reviews. Every few years, we're doing these reviews to see how it's going with the SAT and what can we improve. Turns out there were 12 people that got sent the wrong score, and you were one of them. I'm getting chills all over my body. Every time I tell this story, I love it so much. You got the wrong score 12 years ago. You actually got a 780. or 20, 720, I think. You actually got a 720. Not a 1460. Nope, that wasn't you. But he said it wasn't, the fact that I had so much success was not because I got a 1460, but it was because I did the things a 1460 would do. I showed up, I went to class. He focused on that, like, oh my goodness, right? Instead of, wow, I'm just a 720. I'm not going to do anything, because that defines you, right? Super powerful. Our thoughts about ourselves, our thoughts about others, our thoughts about the world, about the state of everything right now is so stinking powerful. You guys, let me leave you with one more thing. Watching 3 minutes of news. I don't watch the news. Are you freaking kidding me? I do not need that, like, poison in my mind. I don't need it. I've gone by without it pretty good. 3 minutes of news a day leads people to be 27% more likely to say they had a terrible day. Just by watching 3 minutes of news a day means you are 27% more likely to say my day sucked. I had a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. Just from 3 minutes. So people are sitting watching hours of news right now, and it is not doing them any good. It is breeding stress. It is breeding negativity. It is probably bringing more negative people into their lives so they can commiserate together. But listen, those negative thoughts are so powerful. So I hope that instead of me just being like, you guys, positivity, it's amazing, like, speak positive things. This is why. Is because if you are speaking the negative, you are amplifying that negativity to come. You are basically saying, come on in, like, bring me all the negative stuff. And that's no good for anybody, especially right now. Protect yourself, protect your energy, protect your family. Unfollow, mute, delete. If you get triggered by any account, including mine, if this is triggering for you, I ask you to leave, because I'm going to keep talking about it. Okay, this is what I believe in. This is what I have studied. This is what science is proving to us about the power of the mind. So if that's like giving you some kind of like, oh, this girl, her life is so great, like, bye. You do not need to be here, okay? Surround yourself with positive people and positive spaces. You have the power over your social media right now. Get it out. Get it out and see how much better you feel. Focus on your gratitude. Focus on the good, because the negative is just leading to more negative, and it's way more powerful. Okay. Have a fabulous day. Go write your gratitude. I'm going to be sending an email to all of you who are joining me tonight to hear more about my business with Monat and what I do and how I earn money from Instagram. So I hope to see you there. You'll be getting an email. Have a fabulous day. Happy Thanksgiving.